Hi and welcome to Monday Motivation. My name is Nebelin Chirabo. I'm here to inspire you, motivate you, and energize you so you can live to your fullest potential. We're continuing our series on predictable patterns, and I said over the next couple of weeks I'll share more predictable patterns. So today I want to share with you the 4 unbreakable patterns of successful people. These are not things that they do periodically. These are not things they do once in a while. This is a way of life. This is their default setting. They're things they almost do in autopilot. And just to note, the thing about patterns is that patterns are not inherently born. It's not something you're born with. It can be adapted, it can be learned, it can be nurtured. And so these are things that you can train yourself to actually become master at. They can become your way of life. They can become your second nature, but it's not going to happen automatically. You have to be intentional about it and then build consistency in building these 4 patterns. So the 4 patterns that are unbreakable for successful people, 1 is positive thinking. And you're probably thinking, is positive thinking a pattern? Yes, it is. It is how you think. Every day we spend hours and hours thinking, working within our brain. So many things go through our brains, and you've got to be intentional to sift through the things that are going through your brain. Now, you may not be able to stop every thought that crosses your mind, but definitely you do have the power to intercept every thought that lodges in your mind. So that's where the difference is. When it comes to positive thinking, it lies in the fact that you are intentional about being positive in every situation. And because you're intentional, it doesn't matter what the situation is, the positive energy in you begins to define the situation around you. You bring your positivity into any situation, into any room, into any circumstance, and excuse me, positivity is contagious. So that's the thing about successful people, is that they are positive in and out of season, in every situation. It doesn't mean they don't have hard times or they don't go through trying situations. They do, but they choose to be positive. They choose to see the glass as half full and not half empty. And so that's a pattern that makes them successful in the things they do. The second unbreakable pattern for successful people is proactiveness. Now, they're not victims of circumstances. They don't sit back and wait for things to happen to them. Successful people are proactive. They take initiative. They look at every situation and ask, what can I do about it? What's the first step I can take? And they don't just thinking. They actually go ahead and act upon it. Now, the majority of us do have great ideas. We spend a whole lot of time thinking. The question is, do we ever act on our thoughts? That's where the difference lies. Being proactive means you take the first step, you take the initiative. You do not wait for the solution to find you. You go ahead and find the solution. And when you can find a solution, you create one. And that's what makes successful people very distinct, is that they are proactive. They take initiative because they believe they are masters of their situations and not victims of circumstances. The third unbreakable pattern for successful people is planning. Meet any successful person and you realize that they never go into anything. They never attempt a project. They never invest without planning. They always have a plan. They wake up every morning with a plan. They start the week with a plan. They start the year with a plan. So the question is, do you have a plan for your life? They have an idea of where they want to be 5 years, 10 years, 20, 50, and maybe 100. They have envisioned the possibilities that could happen for their lives, for their businesses, for the things they care about in the long run. So they have a plan. They do not just go about spontaneously. They don't do anything that comes their way because it feels comfortable, because it feels exciting. They do it because it's important. They do it because it is scheduled on their pattern. So they plan through everything, their personal life, their business, their careers, their engagement. So they have a plan, and you need to start planning out your life. And in one of the previous videos, I said plan for your time as well. Plan for your money, plan for your time, plan for everything that is important in your life, because that is critical to helping you become successful. The 4th unbreakable pattern for successful people is that they project the future. Alongside planning, the thing about successful people is that they're always forward thinking. They're thinking ahead. What's going to happen next year? What's going to happen 5 years from now? What's going to happen 10 years from now? Now, many of us do plan, and you kind of have a plan for the day. It's a shady plan. It's a plan you put together when you wake up and you're about to leave the house, or you get to your office. Then you figure out, okay, let me come up with a to-do list. So for many of us, we're kind of constantly planning on the daily, constantly planning on the go as things come along. However, successful people plan along. They project the future. They look into the future. That's what makes them visionary. They see ahead. They begin to imagine what's going to happen 10 years and begin to mitigate the risk ahead of time. So project your future. Do you have a vision? Do you have a mission statement? Do you have a vision board? Have you visualized the things that you want to actualize in your life this year, 5 years, 10 years from now? Because therein lies the power to helping you stay on track. So 4 unbreakable patterns of successful people. 1 is that they're positive thinkers. 2 is that they're proactive. 3 is they plan. And 4, they project the future. They don't wait for things to just happen. They are always steps ahead of the people around them. And as you implement these 4 patterns, as you begin to adopt them and nurture them in your life, you will become successful at the things that you want to do. My name is Noeline Chirabo. Have a blessed day and a blessed week. Let's keep the conversations going online and catch you next time.